Yeah, buddy. Yankee and the Canuck. We got the Canuck back. We haven't seen him in a full day. Back
Triumphant return of the Canuck.
dude, I've got great hair. Look at his hair. The video starts showing. Look at that guy. He's got so much hair. 67 trips into the stream, and I want to point out that Anna Paulina Luna, no matter how attractive all of you men find her, or maybe some of you women, is bragging her ass off that they just released 30,000 documents of subpoenaed Epstien file things. And I used AI and said, go to this link and tell me if there's any new crimes in these documents. And it said, no, it's the same thing. I'm over it, boys. I'm over the Epstein thing because we've talked about this in depth. There is nothing there. The only thing that you need to realize is that Epstein was an asset for the State Department and possibly other intelligence agencies. There was crimes committed, but you're never going to find out anything about it, no matter how much they release. And you need to move on and focus on different things.
Well,
I do find her to be incredibly hot. But I was in a discussion with a valued Twitter confidant today, and she was saying, why are people calling Chip Roy a rhino? And I said, did you see his eulogy for George Floyd?
Yeah.
Did you see how quickly Chip folds when the heat's on? I said, he basically does. What's the gal's name in Tennessee? The one who had the most pro-Trump voting record. An older gal. She's running for governor now, right? Whatever her name is, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, she is running for governor now.
Yep. Right, and in the minute that the J6 thing popped, she abandoned ship, and ran for the hills. And I said, the fact is, Chip isn't one of the six. I said the six were Gates, Rosendale, Norman, Crane. There's a couple more, and they never wavered. And they're part of Boebert, who wavers a little bit, but she's also like super hot. Anyway, but as long as Matt was around, he could keep Boebert in line.
Yeah, the gate. Whoa! But you got to mention why, because it was the Gates 8, and Matt Gaetz was the leader of those 8. Who could stop or block something from Congress?
Anything.
Yeah, and he was super successful at it.
Yep.
Very effective. Very effective, and no prisoners. I mean, he was absolutely wonderful. I was distressed when he decided to bug out of AG and then go on OAN, which is a ridiculously bad career move, just so stupid. But I mean, he just wants to be on TV, I guess. He thinks he's, good looking or whatever. But nobody's perfect. But we still don't have a champion in the Congress. We don't. I mean, people say, well, Mike Johnson, what about this? I'm like, man, if you're looking for that guy to do anything, all he's going to do is, when it gets to crunch time, he's going to do what Trump says, which is much better than anything we've had in the past. Okay, let me just say that. Yeah. And nobody else really wants the job because they don't want to answer to Trump, and they also don't want to answer to the deep state guys. But the House is still a mess, and as bad as it is, the Senate is worse. It's you can't tell me that this little 6-week vacation they had, where they intentionally had sessions pro forma in an empty chamber just to block their own president's appointments. Now, back in the day, they did that to Harry Reid, did that to George Bush, so he couldn't do recess appointments. Well, that I get. You don't want the president of the other party to fill up the cabinet with a bunch of guys you hate. So you're going to use that procedure to block them. But first McConnell and now Thune both blocked a president of their own party with that bullshit.
Yeah.
Unprecedented. Now, I think the reason Trump, and it's all connected, but the reason I think Trump didn't blow a gasket was because they told him they had to do that to pass the big, beautiful bill, and he had to have the money. So I get it, but it was a setback. Anyway.
Still love the fact that he got the money, though, regardless.
Yeah.
But
he knows what to do with it.
Right. You know what?
Hey, and Edward.
Yeah.
Does Fox News Channel broadcast in Canada?
Yeah. Of course.
You remember all their shows where they'd call The Price of Freedom?
Remember all the shows what?
Well, where if they had a stock market show, they'd call it The Price of Freedom. The stock market show. That was like their tagline. What does it cost? What is it? And we now have the number. It's 175 billion that the president can use to right all wrongs, because you're watching that happen right in front of your face. Oh, he's got his own police force. Well, yeah, he's got the money. The last time he was in there, you guys denied him any money. You wouldn't build 1 inch of border wall. You wouldn't do anything. But this time he learned and he got the money. And now he's off the chain. And that's what's going on. 175 billion is the price of freedom.
Love
if
that.
It's in the right if it's in the right hands.
Now I got to back up a bit here, because Sean brought the point up as soon as he got on, and he was talking about the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, and that's not over. I mean, the sex stuff and all the peddling and everything, that's only a part of the story. And remember, Prometheus, I think I sent you that story about the financial situation, which he was heavily involved in, trying to keep the English pound up over the American dollar, and all the other financial instruments that he was party to. So America and Trump is exposing all this, and he's trying, and what he's done so far with the economy is angering, these Brits. It's just they're over their heads in this stuff right now.
I want to go down that road in a minute, but you got to understand, and everybody who listens to this podcast over the next week or so, that's about how it travels, needs to understand that there's nothing of value in the files that were just released. There's nothing. And you need to understand why, because you're all looking for and I get it, and I totally get it. You want to prosecute pedos. I get that, and I'm using my language as clear as I can because we're broadcasting on like 9.
Right. Of course, we all want that. We all want that.
We all want that, but you're not going to get it from this, because this isn't what you think it was. You think that the dude was a gigolo, and Maxwell was a pimp. That's not it at all. They were assets to the intelligence community of the American government. We've talked about this many, many times. And they, of course, were there crimes committed? Yeah, hold on. There were crimes committed. There were absolutely crimes committed. But also, you got to look at it and go, some of these people were absolutely put in situations where they couldn't say no. They're also victims and criminals at the same time.
Correct.
It's an awful thing.
But too few people know that.
Not just a U.S. intelligence asset, but an Israeli intelligence asset. And that's the part that's got everybody juiced.
Yeah.
I mean, remember,
everyone's going with the Jews with 19 O's, J-O.
But you've got those pictures. You've got those pictures of Ghislaine and Jeffrey at the British royal properties, throughout England and all the rest of that. Her old man was Robert Maxwell. I mean, he's tied to who.
Wait. That's exactly where this. Wait. This is exactly where this is going, because people who are not really thinking this through go, I see pictures of Trump at a party with Epstein. I see pictures of Prince. That's not the evidence that you need to see. That's just this guy was a socialite. He was an asset. We all know he was at least all of us know he was
Yes.
an asset, right? And of course, they put him in places, in prominent places, so he could get photographed with prominent world leaders. That's the way it goes.
That's right.
That's what the intelligence agency was doing.
And set up.
We need to be clear about that. So the 30,000 pages of redacted files will still give everybody zilch. Tomorrow, when you wake up, you open up your X app, nobody will have found any peace with the release of 30,000 pages of documents. Nobody will have any peace, any solace, or have anything to prosecute somebody with.
Because
when
that's not
you
the
want
story.
when you want to bury it, give it to Comer. That's the solution. And I am thrilled to see Robo Gantz
RoboGant,
on
yeah.
the podcast. Yeah.
Dude, did you see that last picture I put in the I put it on Twitter, but then I also sent it to you where I made you look like RoboCop.
Yeah.
It is so awesome. I would be proud to wear that moniker.
You're stuck with it now, so you gotta.
I put my name in today for this broadcast as Pol Pot, but
holy crap!
Then I'm Kim Il Sung. All right. Anyway.
Yeah. Hey, and it
well,
just
I
got
gotta
in
tell
there.
you, Sean, it took me 4 tries, like 13 minutes to get in. It kept rejected me. I don't know if it was in touch with my parole officer or what.
Well, I don't know. I'll try to open the green room up earlier. But I'm glad you're all here, and I'm glad you all made
No,
it.
you're just busy.
Edward
You're just
Edward
busy.
looked like he was in 480p, like a Nintendo game from the 1980s when he
was
first
texting
joined.
me. He was texting me at 5 p.m. He was locked and loaded. He's ready.
That's what I said. Exactly. But I got to say, Paul, we're all used to rejection, so don't take it hard. We're with you on that. We feel you.
It's just cyber cock blocking.
That's it. A new term. I'm writing that one down. So yeah, I got to get back to that point that you made, Sean. You know that's not even the Epstein story. You know the peddling, the sex stuff and whatnot. That's only a partial part of what's going on and what he's known.
It's nothing. I'm telling you. Oh, like I guarantee you right now, all the mega accounts are going through it and trying to disseminate it, and they're sharing things and they're sharing videos, and they're going to get tons of views and clicks and comments. And get paid well. Yeah. There is nothing in that dump of documents that will bring a prosecution. That's the most important thing. Nobody will get prosecuted because of this document dump. Paul, I saw you raise your hand.
No, I didn't. Sorry. I was trying
his nose itched.
You guys got to forgive me. I'm on new medication and it's got me all jacked up.
Oh, you want
to talk about it? You want to talk about it? We can do it offline.
Yeah.
Wow, you could.
Right.
Yeah, that stuff worked fine though. You did a good job of that.
Yeah. All right, who's next? Who wants to tell me how anybody's going to get prosecuted because of this dump?
Actually, I don't think anybody's going to get prosecuted because of the dump. But I wanted to square a circle that had been bothering me for a bit.
All right.
And it's this: in this forum, we get to meet a civil servant who is as much of a patriot as it's possible to be. And yet, throughout the last 12 years, whatever it's been, you could have almost convinced me that there wasn't one in the entire federal establishment that had a conscience. Okay? Because Obama, oh, you're gonna put the employer mandate off for another year, and everybody goes, oh yes, Barack, okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna commandeer healthcare. Everybody's just gonna bend the knee and kiss the ring and whatever. And why don't you guys fight? What the fuck? Isn't there anybody in the civil service that's gonna blow the whistle on this? And the answer is there were, but they were actually smarter than me. And I'm gonna confess, I sat there and had condemned them. I mean, I considered Paul to be a notable exception, but I figured that it was just a bunch of vipers and careerists and who the hell cares, and I'd written them all off. But they're smarter than me. Rather than counting on Jim Jordan and Jim Comer to fight, they took the measure of those limp dick neoliberal smurfs. Okay, and when they had conclusive evidence of wrongdoing, the last guys they were going to give it to are the Republicans, because those guys are just going to bury it. And they knew it. It was just going to be a bunch of Comer hearings. And, we got testimony. And John Solomon told us, I can't stand that guy. I mean, he's the worst of Kentucky. Comer's awful. All right? He's a one-man bureaucracy. What they did was they outsmarted the deep state. They took the evidence, they put it in burn bags to prove that they were going to destroy it, and that when they went to destroy it, they didn't destroy it. They put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
They hid it in closets and alcoves and whatever.
Room.
Yeah. And when Trump shows up, they go, hey, Cash, come on over here. Here, we're going to open this door. Here you go. Oh, here's some burn bags. And guess what? It's got everything you want to see.
It's got all what is this? GT Auto? We got a secret closet where
right?
Well,
yeah, they saved the nation. They did. And here I was thinking they were worthless. So my apologies, folks. Thank you. I'm not worthy. Let me buy you dinner. I mean, seriously, what mentions? Okay, and it completely changed my perspective, and it actually gave me hope for America that we actually got the goods on them, and they didn't give it to the people who were just going to dribble out the clock and destroy it. No more Trey Gowdies, no more Comers, no more Jordans. Jesus, no more of any of that. I mean, I understand why Gates quit. I wish he'd have stayed, but he was different. But the rest of them are all that way.
Remember Rand Paul saying he's going to go right after.
Oh, come on, Massey. I'm sorry, Nick. Massey, worthless.
Another one. Worthless. Yep. I know. Yeah.
No, I get it. And that's so. Let me go to.
These guys. Let me close
it up. Let me go to
these guys. These guys that created those burn bags are worthy of Robo Gant. They're of his ilk.
Holy
That's what they
are.
Oh,
by the way, if you haven't seen the photo, go to my X profile. I posted a photo. I turned Paul into RoboCop, but like from the mid 1800s. It's fucking incredible. Great stuff. God, this. Like the wrestler, right? The wrestling coach. He was going to come in, he was going to take names and kick ass, and he's done nothing as the head of his committee. Like that, they all do. But it should be of no surprise to anybody because that's what Republicans have always done, especially in a Trump administration, because they are also never Trumpers. They don't actually want to change the system. They want
to loot us. They want to loot us, but less effectively. That's all they
want. Right. Well, what did Rush always say? Democrats spend, Republicans spend less. It's more of the same, but I'd rather have a Republican spend less than a Democrat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's somebody who isn't remembered by many. His name's Harry Brown. He was a libertarian candidate for president. In one of my many flirtations with libertarianism after I voted for Perot. Yeah, okay, whatever.
I love
I couldn't vote for a Bush to say I couldn't stand him. Anyway, but Harry Brown
Which
says,
one?
we took
Both.
Bush's spending proposals and we added them up, and we took Clinton's proposals or Al Gore's proposals, and we added them all up, and we divided them by every man, woman, and child in America, and the difference was one dime for every person. He says, so there is a dime's worth of difference. I never forgot it, but I mean, totally insignificant, of course, but I did like the humor.
10 cents of separation.
And that's yeah. Hey, when you were talking about that Brown, I forget
Harry
the,
Brown.
yeah, I forget the guy's name we talked about.
Marsha Blackburn was the other gal's name for the Alzheimer's afflicted.
I liked her. I still do.
No, she's okay, but she folded like everybody on J6. You know.
You did.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and now where we are. Wow.
Hey,
Well, no,
Paul,
we fought through it.
if you can get through the next 5 minutes, I really want to understand why social media is so cool with an American naval ship blowing up a cocaine boat, a cigarette boat, in the middle of the Caribbean. I don't know if you saw it today.
I saw it.
So let me tell you, yesterday, 779,000 pounds of dope was seized. And today, they blew one of the bad guy ships out of the water. So when I was on a DEA task force in South Florida, and we were running up and down the coastline and, jacking with the guys coming in. And back in my day, it was still cigarettes and Donzies and, Makos and stuff that were making the runs. It wasn't as sophisticated as it is now. And we made requests to the U.S. Navy several times that if we could get permission, we'd just like to blow them right out of the fucking water.
Yeah.
And we always got turned down. So we put all 15 of us at risk every single time to catch a boat and go up next to it and tie off to it and climb on board of it. And I got to tell you, in my 6 years of working dope, we were lucky. We were just lucky.
I'm shocked you're still alive.
Yeah.
We had one guy that fell off the boat and drowned during a chase. But we never had a shootout or anything like that. But it was always, let me tell you something, man. I still take medicine for the stress and anxiety that comes along with, you're chasing a Donzi that's doing 65 knots and you're trying to catch up with him. And you're holding your M6 and going, whoa, until you catch up with those guys. And it's just by the grace of God, most of those Colombian and El Salvadoran and those guys were a bunch of pussies. And they would just kill the engines and go, no moss.
I know Florida police.
But you let them go anyway, right?
Yeah. I know Florida police have swift boats, or have always had swift boats, even back in your day. They had plenty of horsepower to catch these, but wouldn't it be more effective to use our Coast Guard with our cutters, which are armed, to do this work, Paul?
So part of our task force, we were uh, St. Lucie County, DEA, FBI, and the Coast Guard. And I, I'm not I'm not putting a ding on the Coast Guard, but they were always doing something else and
Well,
didn't
I guess my
have
question,
assets
Paul, is
available when we were, ready to rock and roll.
Paul. My question, I think, isn't that it's not that. I think that maybe there was some politics involved. My question is, doesn't the Coast Guard have more capability to do this than a county police office or even a task force with their cutters? Their cutters are state of the art. Some of the cutters that they have are even more state of the art than the Navy.
Yeah. So the cutters that were in Fort Pierce, which is our deep water port in South Florida, we had two cutters that were just badass. I mean, literally badass, 200,000 ton, but could do 70 knots. That kind of badass. And they were armed, like you said. But it, so for my time, we had them a few times, but most of the time they were on other assignments.
Wow.
And that was politics. And I'm not even going to
Well,
try
sure.
to explain it or defend it or anything. It was just that's the way it was.
Well,
Anybody who understands what the CIA is about gets it now. It's that same shit where you're going to do these bombing runs over Iraq or whatever, and you have to get permission from the White House to drop the payload, and so 75% of the flights come back with nothing done. The ordnance is still in the plane.
I can
Just
tell
same
you
old shit.
definitively, brother. Oh, when I was, an active gunslinger, I can tell you we would get on a Black Hawk in Afghanistan, and we had a county counter poppy eradication program that we were working. Right? It was,
Yeah.
and this is State Department. This is not DOD. This is the State Department.
No. I figured that's who it
oh,
is because that's
Right.
where it all starts.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were literally flying through the Hindu Kush, and they were going, you could destroy that poppy field and that poppy field. You have to leave that poppy field
That one
alone,
alone. Yeah.
and you leave that one alone, but you could have this one. It was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen in my whole life. You're making eye contact with me and saying I've got to use IR markers to mark the poppy fields that I can eradicate and mark the one or not mark the ones that I can't eradicate.
Almost sounds like the Passover. Is there lamb's
well,
blood on the door? I mean, come on,
Yeah,
people. Are you?
no.
yeah, right, exactly right, bro.
It might sound like that, but where this comes from, right, is the State Department choosing winners and losers and hoping that they can coup a country into being American friendly. And could anybody please tell me when the last time the State Department has ever cooed a country into being West friendly? You could like
Sean?
the most recent one you could look at is Ukraine, but go all the way back
No.
to when the
You
State
remember
Department started.
Shaw of Iran, brother? My answer's not going to change. It was the Shaw.
Why didn't listen? That didn't make anything better. That's my point.
Well, we
The
bought
State
20
Department has
years.
never done a coup that has
20
made
years is better than
anything
20
friendly to the
fucking months.
West.
If
Fuck.
I mean, we even got this bullshit with the State Department down there because they overturned that election in Romania because the guy wasn't going to let them have a port to stop Russia. On the. I mean,
Yup.
come on, people. I mean,
Yup.
really.
Paul and I get a whole space over the entire thing.
Yep. Hey, give me a second. I got to grab another beer. You guys are making me
Go
thirsty.
for it, man. Happy Friday or whatever day it is.
I'm gonna get one.
American
I'm
holiday.
gonna let the king of the group chat talk. He's been quiet. Go ahead.
Well, we got off on some other subjects. That's all. No biggie.
You're all good, Edward. Explain to me. All right, so we did that. Explain to me how Keir Starmer and the Crown is trying to get you guys to put in Canada to put troops on the ground instead of Ukraine and tell Trump basically to go F himself. And we're just going to go in. We have to stop Russia bad, Putin bad, which we've all talked about. No, Putin really isn't bad.
Right.
The State Department's bad, and they
Yes.
installed Zelensky. So let's start there. And we talked a little bit earlier, Edward. So Starmer, Carney. Let's start breaking down what they're doing right now.
So the flower of Canadian youth is going to go overseas to defend the eastern border of Ukraine, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I mean, that's the plan. The game plan has been. I mean, Trump's trying to talk things up to a draw right now, where everything's calmed down. And what does our country do? No, let's follow Great Britain's lead and go all out for war. Give them $2 billion. The Ukrainians or 20. I can't even remember the number figure now. To keep things up and ramped up, let's not go for the peace that Trump's trying to initiate. No, let's just do what Great Britain, the king, want. Let's go to war and finish them off. I'm thinking, no, this is the wrong direction. We should be following Trump.
No. Let's fall in line behind the government that's arresting its citizens for displaying the British flag.
I know, right? Isn't that just retarded? And you know what? I'm not one of these UK people. I call England because that's what it is. I mean, you get Ireland, that's a whole separate entity in itself. Let's not say Ireland or Northern Ireland's part of England and Scott. No, it's all the same. It's always been. You talk to the older English people. England's still England. It's not the UK. Let's not get this whole thing all grouped up in one. A big group hug. No, because it's not like that over there at all. The whole thing's just a big facade. So yeah,
Edward, this happened 2 days ago. All those pictures of those demonstrations in Australia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I've got a friend in Australia. You remember I told you about her. She's down there. She's an Indian national or whatever. And I said, would you guys get off your asses and declare independence? She says, from who? From who?
I know. You don't understand it.
Do you think you'd have this migration policy if you weren't a fucking colony?
I know. We're doing the same.
Doesn't that all boil down to the fact that their media is so censored that they believe, and they have believed since the 80s, that they are independent countries as opposed to colonies of the crown.
I know, and you know what? Too few people really get that or understand that.
I mean, could they just text message or I don't know what's cool over WhatsApp?
Put them in a group chat.
People,
get them in a group chat, and you can tell them, and they'll listen. Girls like group chats, right?
No, not me. Not me. They're not going to believe me because I'm a white man. They need to get in a group chat with Hong Kong.
Oh,
okay.
Good one.
Right? The former British colony.
What you got there, Paul?
I was looking at that. What is that?
I put tattoo wax on my tattoo.
All right.
Right on.
Oh.
What are you going to show everybody or what?
It's a tramp stamp.
Oh, no. It's on his ass. It's on his ass. He's not going to show it.
You're not going to show us your tramp stamp?
That's a good tattoo.
So my
Nice.
16-year-old nephew in Bosnia, she drew this on a piece of paper as a doodle, and I took it. And the last time we were in Bosnia visiting family, I went to a local tattoo artist and said, "Hey, dude, can you do this for me?" And he said, "Yeah." And I was prepared to pay a couple of $100, and he said, "Yeah, it's going to be like 34 euros."
$50.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, $50. Oh my God.
Would you do 25? No, I didn't do that, but
No,
yeah.
yes.
So it's sentimental
I
to
hear
me
you here.
because I really love my little niece. She's just badass, you know. And so
that's a nice sleeve. You know, it's very,
yeah,
Yeah.
very well
Great
done.
story. Yeah.
it hurt like a motherfucker.
I bet it did.
Well, whatever. Pain is gain. Whatever. That's fucking retarded.
Oh, by the
But
way,
whatever.
I gotta say, Sean, and we've talked about this. Oh God, a month ago, the King of England and Trump are at odds. It's going to be a down and dirty
You
fight
think?
coming out. And yeah, I'm telling you, it is
We
not.
talk, all right, Edward. You brought up what I want. Another thing I wanted to talk about today, which is so the King of England, and not just him, but Starmer, right?
Oh,
And then you got Macron, and you got some other European leaders that are like all saying, "Fuck you, Trump. I'm going to put troops on the ground and force you by the fifth of whatever of NATO to fight
I know.
Russia bad because they're still living in the Cold War era and Russia bad is profitable for their nations.
Well, that's the whole. Yeah.
Here's where I think Trump's gonna go. He's gonna say, "Have at
go ahead.
it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're
You know what?
we're just gonna leave NATO. Thank you.
He's not
What he
following
would, what
the
he
whole.
should
Go
say is,
for
hey,
it."
the last time we did something like that, we got involved in Vietnam because the French were involved over there, and that didn't turn out very well. So
No,
we're not doing it.
right.
We're not doing-
And you know what? Yeah, that's just going over again the same stuff. Chuck,
No,
and
Edward,
No,
you're
it's not.
right.
This
But
is
I'm
the new
telling
stuff.
you,
Don't say the same stuff. Bullshit. Most people don't know this, Edward. Come on.
I know
Edward,
the ones that do are here, and the ones that don't were never. They're so.
we're broadcasting live right now to, I don't know. It says like 3,100 billion, thousand billion, billion, million. Oh,
Great
sorry,
news.
that was the Bidenism.
But you know what?
No, but it's out there.
Yeah,
It's out. We're putting it out there. And Edward, you got to understand, they are clearly trying to drag Trump into
Yes.
yeah,
a war with Russia, and
absolutely.
Trump is making it clear, I am pissed that Russia is still doing this war, but
Right,
I'm also not going to participate in it.
right.
Yeah,
And so all of you fuckers in the UK can kiss my ass if you call up the fifth of NATO. I'm not fucking doing it. I'll
Nope.
just fucking leave. You guys fucking do it.
He's not
And
going to
he
do it.
wait, didn't he also say, JC, you guys are going to start buying all the shells for the
Yes.
144 millimeter cannons
Yes.
from the United States? We're done fucking paying for this shit.
Well, we're not. And someone said, "Oh, well, look, there's a budget proposal that has us paying 500 million for Ukraine in perpetuity." So what? I mean, 500
I don't
million is
care
a
about
drop in the bucket. I mean, per year, that's a drop in the bucket compared to what's been going on. We're in for 350 billion. I mean, 500 million.
right.
It would take us another 3 centuries to get up to where we've already spent. I'm not going to get wired about that. Everybody wants you to turn on Trump and say he's lost his mind. No, he really hasn't. I
I
mean,
know.
even
No.
today, Owen Schroyer, the Rock of Gibraltar. I watched these influencer meltdowns. Now he turns on Alex Jones. He says Alex Jones doesn't want him in a group chat while he's on the air, and Owen doesn't know how to handle it. Hey, he was getting some action from those New Zealand babes. I said, I know how it is. I said, I have a friend who's all about that.
That's true what you said, because nobody seems to understand that what you were talking about. Trump is not following the post-war script that Great Britain always has. So we find ourselves in today in what we're looking at opposed to the European Union. In America, its economy is doing well, and England hates its guts right now. They're all out. They're going to throw the last egg out, until Trump either finds himself in war.
Edward, hold on. I got a question. I got to ask Paul. So if the British and the Canadians,
he's still reeling about the Owen Schroyer news.
If the British and the Canadians, we'll get into that. If the British and the Canadians lined up on the battlefield against Russia, would they still line up in rows of lines with muskets and just take shots? Where the Americans, within their revolution, said, "Fuck you! I'm going to hide in the trees and kill you."
Guerrilla warfare.
It's the old Bill Cosby comedic thing that he did on one of his early albums. Yeah.
Oh, that was a great record.
What's going to happen? You're going to wear red. You're going to march in a straight line out in the open, and we're going to hide in the trees and wear camouflage, and we're going to kill your ass over and over again.
Get you in a crossfire. We're going to kill your ass until you quit. That's right.
Well, I got to say, the direction everything's heading into, I don't think the average American does understand that Trump is exposing all this stuff, and they think he's some type of a dictator, but he hasn't done anything of the sort. And exposing all this,
I will totally let JC go on this one. No, the average American, would see if they watch television and are on Facebook and TikTok.
Yeah,
believe that. But the other half of Americans do not. JC, jump in.
No, they want no part of it. They know they've been lied to for years, and the fact is that you've got all this spending, you've got all this nonsense, and we keep saying we can't cut anything, and Trump's actually going to audit NGO spending now. And I mean, that's the taproot of all the nonsense, because the State Department and the CIA cutouts and all the rest of that shit depending upon the money that we print and send through the State Department or USAID to the NGOs. I mean, that's where it all begins. And the fact is, by eliminating that thing when he first got in, that was the shot heard around the world. And that's why you saw them all react. And now all the media companies are going out of business. And Bobby Kennedy is going to eliminate pharmaceutical advertising on TV, and that's going to defund the network news. And the megaphone is just going to shrink until the only person who has a megaphone is Trump himself. And that's a dictator. No. This thing in D.C. was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's a postage stamp. Go in there, clean it up. And now he's looking at Dark Brandon. And he said, "Hey, Dark Brandon, we want to come in and keep all your boys from killing each other. And you and Sumo Gov are standing tall, saying you don't want any part of it. Really? You think the moms in your urban ghettos want a part of it? What do you think? What do you think, Sumo Gov? Huh?
Yeah.
Governor Trans or that faggot in Minnesota?
Are you talking about Chicago?
Pritzker, Chicago. By the way, his office.
I mean, if you look at him,
is
don't you see
2.5 hour drive away.
Don't you see a sumo wrestler when you look at him?
No, I did not. But now that you mentioned that, I'm going to have a second look now.
I mean,
But
you
no,
put a little
I guess
strap
we
on
took
him, and yeah,
both.
have his ass hanging out. That'd be a sumo wrestler.
I got
Dude,
the
he's as
salt
big as
coming.
Jerry Nadler.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
who retired today?
penguin,
Thank
Jerry
God.
Nadler.
real life Batman
Jabba,
penguin, right there.
Jabba the
Old
Nadler is out of the
Ned.
Tonga. Yeah,
That's a
Jabba.
Trumpism. Old Nads.
Yeah, you
Old
know what?
Nads.
He's been squaring off with Nadler for years. Yeah.
I don't
Eh?
get how the state of Minnesota is even operating with Ilhan Omar and that Tim Walz. You said fag, and I think that's a
Dude,
punk
No,
word.
he is. Yeah.
wait. Like, wait. Do you look? I know you're Canadian.
Huh.
The state of
Yeah.
Minnesota is almost all Republican,
I don't know how
except
it
for
can
the
be.
Twin Cities. Right. So Minneapolis,
Yes.
St. Paul,
Yeah,
and they control the
The
entire
whole thing.
state,
because
and
80% of the people there.
they're the most Somali Muslim place in
Yeah,
America.
I agree.
Yeah.
50,000 of them got put in there in the last little what 2 or 3 years.
Way more, way
Way
more.
more. Did you
Huh.
guys see my proposal? I want to put a security fence around Minneapolis, St. Paul, make it a maximum security prison. Call it the Great Lakes Gulag, and deport them. I think that's the way to go.
No, I do too. That's a great idea. A 90-foot high fence all the way around it. Yeah, that'll kind of keep them shut up for a while, I think. Or just maybe
You see how much money Omar has now that she got involved with
really
her talent agent or whatever, and they commingled the funds from his consulting agency. She's got
seeing that.
$30 million now.
Seeing
I
that.
never
Yeah.
thought marrying my brother to beat immigration law could be so profitable.
Whatever happened about automatic deportation?
Nothing.
You're lying on those forms. I mean, that's a criminal offense right there. You lie on the application forms, you're automatically deported. Come on. I mean,
Actually, Edward, I heard that Comer is looking into that.
oh yeah, Comer's. Yeah, right. Yeah, Flagrante delicto, and he still, turns a blind eye towards the whole thing. That's a crime too.
Yeah.
That guy should go.
Edward,
Paul, I saw you.
hey, I'm sorry. I told you I was locked and loaded
Okay.
tonight. Go ahead, Paul.
No.
I'm coming.
And if Paul didn't go, Paul. Hey, Paul, if you had something, if not, we'll just
I
keep
do.
rolling.
I do. So I tramped across Africa for 2 or 3 years. We did camps in Sudan. We did camps in Darfur. We set up in a hangar in Somalia at an active airport with the Ethiopian army. And I can tell you, and I'm not being a East Texas redneck when I tell you Somalians are gutter snipes. They're
Well, let's explain for people who have never heard us talk about this. They're probably maybe 7th or 8th century level of experience and education, if I'm right, Paul. And
Sean,
there's nothing you could
the
do by spending.
the
Hold on,
average. Okay.
Mr. Beast wanting to do this. He raised 40 or $50 million to give clean water to Africans, like in Darfur or other places. In this, like, if you just really listen and look at what Paul's about to say, you will see why this was a waste of everybody's donations. Paul, do you want to start from there?
Go right ahead.
yeah. So we built these refugee camps in Darfur, and they were for the first camp we did was for 1,000 people, and it was mostly semi-permanent tent structures with DFAC and ablution units for sanitation. The first thing that happened was they didn't know what ablution unit was. They didn't know what a toilet and a shitter and a shower and a sink. So they went unused and for the first few weeks, and then families started moving into them. So a 40-foot container with 6 shitters, 6 showers, and 12 sinks became 6 apartments. And they would live inside the stall. So the second thing that happened was we dug these boreholes for well water, and we set up these ROPUs. A ROPU is a reverse osmosis water purification unit.
Right.
So we set those up so that they would have clean water. And they would come up with their filthy 5-gallon cans and fill them up with water and take them back to their shitter stall apartment. And we gave the entire camp the shits. Just all of them. Made them sicker than hell. And we didn't know what was happening. So we called in this German engineer to come in and test the water and tell us what's going on. And he said, the water's too clean. And we were like,
true story.
What? And he's like, yeah, these people drink water out of the Nile River. You know, they're used to filthy water. You've got it too clean. You're making them sick. So we took the infrared lights out of the ROPUs. We took one of the 2 sand filters out of the ROPU, and dumbed it down a little bit. And finally, we got it under control where they weren't shitting all over the place. Now, I got to tell you firsthand, as being in those camps smell so bad that you can't believe it. But on top of that, when everybody's got the shits,
oh God,
it's like going to the end of the earth. I mean, you can't, as a Western person, go in there without.
Hey, Paul, anybody who's watched Slumdog Millionaire knows what you're talking about.
Exactly right.
Good point. Just anybody's seen or witnessed the immigration nightmare in our country from India will understand what you're talking about. I mean, I can't tell you the number of times I've gone to a public restaurant or a job site and see 2 great big huge footprints on a toilet seat because they stand on a toilet. Oh my! It just you know what? Their culture, their education, their everything is so. I don't want to get into it. I just don't even want to say what I actually.
We can totally talk about Asian toilets and how they
no,
don't have.
I don't want to go down that road.
Hold on, let's let Paul go on.
So what happens is the elite liberals don't have a point of reference on that. They think they're going to go in.
Save the world.
These guys into being this, that, and the other. And I guarantee you, I've been to the Somalian region in Minnesota there outside of Minneapolis and St. Paul and that kind of thing. And it's the same fucking shithole. They don't rise to the American level. They pull the American level down. And so that's how they live. And so
that's what they're used to. Yeah.
That's exactly what they're used to. So 10 years ago, I went to the Sheraton in Mogadishu in Somalia, and we set up a PMO, which is our office, and we had a conference room. Everybody had their own room and stuff. It was nice. It was modern and everything until Boko Haram came in and they blew shit up. They fucked everything up. Uh, I got medevaced out of there, and the next time I went back, it looked like Raccoon City in that fucking,
Right.
you
Always the
know.
same. That you got livestock living in the buildings. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what happened.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right. And so we literally set our camp up on the active end of the runway with the Ethiopian army, who was the State Department's. Let me back up a minute. The State Department's thought process was, we're going to set up an Africa Union. The Africa Union is going to be the African version of NATO, because we don't we're not America, we're not the world policemen. We're going to train these guys to police their own. So we took the most developed African nations and did train the trainer and train them up on peacekeeping and all that. Well, it didn't work because they're fucking ghetto snipes.
It will
They're,
never work. And to be
Will
clear
never
on what
work.
you just said, Paul, it will never work because they don't want it to work. They don't want to be Western. They don't want to be modern. They don't want anything to do with it. And that you could look at the African nations, you could look at the Middle Eastern nations, you could look at some of the Asian nations, sans Taiwan, or
yeah,
right? And they're like, I want to live as a goat herder. I don't
The
give a shit.
right.
I don't want to have anything to do with the West. And you know what? If we would have just left them all alone, they would still be poor but happy as goat herders.
They would have been fine, dude. They don't want to
Yep.
be fucked with. And we came
No.
in and fucked with
They
them.
don't they don't want Grok's version of Annie, the companion that you can screw yourself with. They don't want any of this. They want
no,
to herd goats
they
so they have
don't they
shit to
don't
eat.
they don't want globo homo. They don't want any of it. The fact is they've got average IQ of 78. And I mean
True.
that's a few points above moron status here. And I mean,
I
all I can
believe
ever
the correct term is retarded if they're
all I can ever
below
think of is when they
75.
busted Omar with her agent or whatever is his campaign manager, whatever it was. I can just imagine the smell. Just I mean, it's just so gross. You guys talk about it. It's awful to even think about.
Yep.
So I got to, by comparison, before I was a gunslinger with the State Department, I was a deputy sheriff. I got a call one day for a welfare check at a retirement in Florida. There's all these mobile home parks that are,
Yeah.
55 plus, right? So this was a typical single wide with a carport kind of deal, with 1,000 of them,
Oh
all
yeah, yeah,
there,
they're all over the
right?
place. Yeah.
I pulled up my 1987 Dodge Diplomat squad car,
Sure.
Yeah.
and I got out wearing my triple knit polyester forest green sheriff's office outfit, and it
Yes.
was like
Yes, RoboGan.
102.
Yes, RoboGan. What can we do for you?
Yeah, I get halfway up the driveway and I go, "Oh, this is not going to be good." And I go inside, and there's this 85-year-old guy that's 300 pounds sitting on the toilet, and he'd been dead for 4 days.
Fuck.
And that did not smell as bad as Somalia.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
4 day
Just as a point of reference, boys, that's how it is.
No, it's disgusting, and no amount of liberal make believe is going to change anything.
No, it's fantasy land. We all know it. Every one of us here knows that fanciful thinking that's so far out of reality, and that's why I can't stand that lack of reason that libtards have. I mean, they think everything in the world is the same as Hollywood, and it's not. Not that Hollywood's even.
Or the same as it's the same as their picket fence up in Ontario. Yeah.
Yep, exactly right. No, true.
All right, boys, we hit the hour. Let's make fun of each other as we play.
I got an alibi. Sean.
Give Robo Gant needs to make another statement. Go ahead, Robo Gant.
Dude, that was a great photo. You should put that. Robo Gant was the last one I sent. You should totally make that your profile picture.
How do I do that?
I could talk to you briefly after.
You have the right guy.
Would you
to help you here.
Yeah, I'll walk you through it.
And the second thing I want to bring up is, after a couple of years of this, that, and the other, I finally got 80% disability from the VA.
Oh wow!
Thank God.
So I'm going to start getting checks every month, and that's going to help towards my retirement.
Thank
Good
God.
Deal.
Well, yeah.
Well, listen, Paul, you've got Multimedia Stromberger to help you with your profile picture. You could not do better.
You could not. I'm telling you.
I'm
No,
going
true.
to call you back on
I didn't send it to you guys. I sent him a video of him turning his profile picture into RoboCop. But RoboCop from like the late 1800s with the hat. Oh, it's a great video.
Hey, bro, do you want me to Teams call you, or how are we going to do it? What do you want to do?
I'll just give you a phone call after we close this up.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Do it right now while it's hot. Don't let any grass grow under your feet. Do it.
Here's Yankee of the Canuck. Thanks the Canuck for joining us.
We got him back. We rescued him from the group chat. He's back with us. Yeah.
I missed one day.
Jesus. We love you, Yankee. We just